bathroom remodeling, and more videos. Yes, you're even going to see a strange creature in one of these videos. In this video, we will take a look at a couple of methods that you can use if you need to move the drain pipe for your toilet a few feet, or in some cases even up to 12 feet away from the vent that it is connecting to. And I'm not about to suggest that this is going to work every single time, because it's going to depend a lot upon the drainage for the pipe. Are you going to be able to get the slope required by your local building department? And that might be anywhere between 1/4 of an inch per foot or 1/8 of an inch per foot. So the first thing you're going to want to do before you cut any of the concrete will be to look down the drain and see if you have a little bit of drop here. And you could do that by simply sticking a measuring tape down the drain. And if you have about 10 inches, then you're probably going to be okay. And that measurement would basically be down to about here somewhere. If you just stuck a ruler or a tape measure straight down, you'd kind of hit something like this. I'm not suggesting that you take the tape measure and stick it all the way down the drain, because in reality, this is the measurement that's going to matter the most. And if you can see that from the inside of the drain, then that's the measurement you're going to need. For example, if this is 3 inches and I need 1/4 of an inch per foot slope, then there's a good chance I'd be able to move this about 8 feet, maybe even 10 feet or 12 feet. And after you've figured that out, then you can go ahead and take out some of the concrete slab and the soil. And then you can cut the pipe at the desired location. I would not suggest cutting this pipe at all until you have figured out whether or not the plumbing layout you're going to use is going to work or not. Because if it isn't, you can simply fill this back up with fill material and re-pour the concrete. Because the last thing you want to do is cut this pipe in the wrong spot, only to realize that the mistake you made is now going to require you to remove a larger section of the plumbing. So again, let's put a little thought into this before you get carried away. Now, in our first example, we're simply going to use a coupling and then 90 off of that coupling and come over a few feet. And for something like this, we shouldn't have a problem. This is something that most building codes are going to allow, because you're only moving it a few feet. However, once you start moving the toilet more than 5 or 6 feet, then you could actually end up with some building code issues. Another method you could use would be to come off of the coupling there and then 90 over like we did on the other side over here. And again, with something like this, I don't think we've went more than 5 feet yet. And of course, this would work if you went in the other direction. Or you could always install a 45-degree fitting or a 22.5-degree fitting to end up with something like this. And this is actually something most plumbers or building departments are going to appreciate, because you've just reduced the amount of this by 45 degrees, if I've done my math correctly. And if you're going to do something like this, then the coupling here can move a little farther away. Now, the one thing I like about moving the coupling a little farther away than having it right up against the other coupling is that it will give you some room for error. Let's just say that I move the coupling over here and I glue all of my piping together and I find out that I'm 1 inch off. And if that's the case, I could either cut it right here, cut it somewhere over here, and add another coupling. But I really wouldn't be able to do that if I had to cut it right here. And I hope that makes sense, because that is definitely another thing you don't want to run into. You don't want to end up creating a problem to where you're going to need to remove this fitting here. And I couldn't end the video without suggesting that this is going to work for this particular design. However, if you have a different design, I'm planning on creating a variety of different videos on how you can relocate certain plumbing fixtures, bathtubs, toilets, sinks, and showers in a variety of different situations. In this video, I want to try and provide you with a better understanding of why a toilet that is moving or rocking back and forth while you're using it could actually create a water leak. And I'm guessing that this is probably the biggest problem that would create a water leak. Or should I say, in other words, I don't remember ever coming to a house where there was a water leak and the toilet was firmly secured to the floor and not moving. So if your toilet is moving from side to side, then there's a good chance that it is creating problems for the wax ring if you're using a wax ring. And usually what it does when the toilet rocks from side to side is that it will eventually squash the wax ring or deform it in a way that water can be allowed to leak from any area around it that is no longer sealed. And to make a little more sense out of it, for those of you who still might be confused, let's go ahead and take a look at how the toilet can move, along with a few things that you might be able to do to stop the toilet from moving and hopefully eliminate your water leak. So let's go ahead and start with the plumbing flange for the toilet that is placed in the proper location along with the bolts and the wax ring that would be creating a nice positive seal, along with the toilet sitting firmly on top of the flooring and providing us with a toilet that isn't going to move very much, if it's going to move at all. Now, the first thing on the list you need to try when you have a toilet that is moving will be to tighten the bolts. And I would imagine about half the time you're not going to be able to move the nuts at all because of the corrosion or rust that is going to be around them. And if this is the case, you will need to use some type of a saw, like a Sawzall, and try to cut in between the top of the washer and the bottom of the nut to prevent damaging the top of the toilet or the porcelain. And if you can't do that, then you might need to just give it a shot and cut it anyway, unless you're planning on replacing the toilet. If you're planning on replacing the toilet, you can simply grab a hammer and break the area around the nut and the washer, and then remove the toilet, and then hopefully remove and replace the bolts. And this is actually one of the biggest reasons why toilets move, is because the bolts can no longer be tightened. Next up on the list, and this isn't that common, however it is a possibility you need to be aware of, is that the plumbing pipe might not be firmly secured, even though the toilet is firmly secured to the flange and allowing the pipe to move back and forth while you're using the toilet. Next up on the list, another problem could be that the toilet flange itself was not installed correctly and is sitting a little higher than it should be, allowing for a gap on either one side or both sides, allowing the toilet to move in either direction. And again, in some cases, you might be able to fix this by tightening the bolts. However, that might not work if you have already squashed the wax ring and can no longer tighten the bolts. And if the bolts are loose and allowing the toilet to rock on top of the flange, then this is usually what happens when the toilet moves from one side to the other side, allowing one side of the wax ring to get squashed while creating a gap at the other end that could allow water to escape while the toilet is being flushed or leaking. And keep in mind that if the toilet is only rocking to one side, that only one side is going to get squashed or deformed. However, that's not going to be the case. If it moves to the left, it's going to squash the wax ring and allow a gap on the other side. And then when it rocks back to the other side, it's going to allow the gap on this side while squashing and continuing to deform the wax ring to where it no longer has a positive seal. Now, if you do have this problem, you could always install some type of a shim underneath the toilet, and you're probably going to have to install the shims on both sides. And make sure that you use some type of a material that is not going to decompose. For example, wood might not be the best choice. However, I wouldn't rule it out as long as you no longer have any water leaking around the base of the toilet. However, tile or cement-based products or even metal might work a little better as a means to stabilize the toilet. And even though in a situation to where the toilet flange is a little too low, you're usually not going to end up with a toilet that is going to move or rock back and forth. However, you could end up with a gap in between the top of the wax ring and the bottom of the toilet that would allow water to seep out of this area and onto the flooring. And most of the time, to fix something like this, all you need to do is add another wax ring. And I do have another video at the website if you think you have that problem. And for our last example, I will provide you with something that I just recently dealt with. And this would be something that could happen in a wood-framed floor and a concrete foundation. And that would be a situation where they used some type of a bolt that either screwed into the wood framing or somehow use some type of a lead filler that would allow you to install some type of a screw into it in the concrete that might no longer be working and allowing the toilet to move. And again, in some cases, all you need is one loose bolt. And normally what happens in this situation is that the bolt is no longer gripping to the lead, or the lead is no longer gripping to the concrete. And something like this will allow either the bolt or the sleeve to separate and raise out of either the concrete or the lumber used for the framing of the foundation. And something like this might actually require you to install a toilet flange or even contact a professional plumber to repair. And that's actually how I solved my problem, by removing the plumbing and replacing it. However, this isn't going to be an option for your average do-it-yourselfer. Here is something that started with a toilet leak. You can see the water here at the base of the toilet, which forced me to remove the toilet and replace the wax ring. And for those of you who might not be familiar with leaking toilets at the bottom, and you can see here that this is the flooring. And we have the bolts that connect the toilet to the floor. And if you can see here, the wax is flat. It has been squashed to create a nice seal. That is not the case over here. And I could have just added another toilet ring to this. However, I didn't like the fact that there was a discoloration here, something that might have looked like it was mold. And even though you can't see it now, here's the creature that I found. It was a little lizard in here. And even though I have found a variety of different things in the plumbing drain and in the toilet, for example, children's toys, and even an aluminum can one time, I have never found anything that was moving. And for those of you who might have a difficult time seeing the little guy, he's right here. He's got 2 eyes, 2 front legs. And I went ahead and cut out a view of the little guy there for those of you who might not be able to see him where he's at because of the discoloration, because the little guy blends in with the background here. And yes, there is a happy ending to the story. I removed him and relocated him out to the backyard and cleaned all of this up and fixed the water leak. And for those of you who might not be interested with the little creature here, you're more interested in the toilet leaking repairs, I will put some links to those in the video description area.